everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Evan, and you can find me here on YouTube and over on Instagram as Evan Knits Things. So, welcome if you're here for the first time. I'm so glad you're here, and welcome back if you've been here before. I am also so glad you're here. Welcome back. This is episode 3 of my 2024 podcast, and today we have a lot of things to talk about. So let's jump right in. First thing this week, the first thing I have in my journal was that I wanted to build my cube storage, and I did. It's this. If you want to see how I organized my yarn and my collection and what's where and how I have it organized, comment that below and I'll make a video about it. Second thing was I wanted to finish my super secret Purl Soho project. And I did. And I can't show it to you. And it's already been shipped out to where it belongs. So that's a really boring update, but updated, it's finished. That's my first FO for the week. FO stands for finished object, if you were unaware. Next thing. The next thing I have written down here was finish the front panel of my Marigold Tee, which I did. Where did it go? Not only did I finish the front panel, I finished the whole thing. Look at that. It's a finished object. So, this is the Marigold Tee by Winter's Weather Knits. I am knitting this as a sample for Terrapin Fiberworks, and it is knit up in 2 of their bases. The darker blackish brownish is their Chesapeake fingering. Here, let me go to my project page here so I can tell you what the colorway is. The colorway for that one is Kata, and then the red is their Severn fingering base in the colorway Historic District. So I finished this, thank God, because this thing was a freaking disaster. Oh my gosh, it looks great now, but I had so many issues with this pattern and with this project. I will never knit this again, ever. So the construction of this works that you start at this sleeve on the end here and you work flat and you knit along this sleeve and then you cast on these stitches for the body and then you continue working to the middle right here. Then you leave that on holders and you do the other thing from the other direction. And then you Kitchener stitch all of these stitches together and all of these stitches together, and then you block it, and then you sew up the side seam and the seam on the sleeve. To say that I spent 3 hours on Friday blocking this thing, because there's different gauges for the stockinette bits, and it's a different gauge for the lace work. And not only that, but you're basically using a fingering weight and a lace weight, and you're using 2 different needle sizes throughout the whole thing. So blocking this is a nightmare. I tried originally to use blocking pins like on each side of the lace to like open up the lace, but then it just made the fabric in between the lace panels all puckery. So then I had to start over after it had been 2 hours of trying to get this set out. And then it was starting to dry because it's cotton and a faux silk. It's tencel. So it dries really quickly. And oh my gosh. I am so excited to send this out tomorrow and to be done with it and never, ever, 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 ever knit it again. I will say, this yarn both of them are a dream. Um, the severn fingering, the red, the tencel took a little getting used to because it is very slippery. It's 100% tencel, so it's like working with 100% silk. Very slippery, but this feels incredible, and this is going to be the most wearable spring and summer tee ever. Um, I'm really excited to. I'm getting paid to do this in shop credit, and I am so excited to look through um, Lila's catalog and pick out some good stuff to knit my own summer tee. It will not be this pattern, but I'm really excited about it. So that's finished. It looks great now, and if I never see it again, it will be a happy day. Although, Terrapin Fiberworks, Lila, who is the dyer there, um, she just like a couple weeks ago had the most glorious collection. I'll put a picture on the screen, but I'm so sad that I missed out on that, and I may save this shop credit forever to get that one colorway back. I don't remember what it was called, but I'll put a picture. I don't know. I forget that the camera is like different than what I think, so I don't know if it'll be over here or over here. I'll figure this out one of these days, I swear. I'm also not sure if I ever put my phone like the same way on the tripod. So, and whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, but that colorway, I was dying. I was dying. It was so gorgeous. So, that's one thing finished. Finished object. I have 2 finished objects this week. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I can't either, but I'm very excited about it. Um, I was feeling really weighed down by whips last week, and I'm super excited that I had 2 finished objects this week. Um, okay, so yes, I had 2 finished objects, but I also have 2 new cast-ons this week. Uh, we'll talk about that after my other whip updates. The next thing I have written in my journal here after all the Marigold Tee things was to work 10 rounds of my Stria cardigan. Now, this is the Stria Cardigan by Andrea Mowry. And here it is. I'm not sure if I can try it on for you because I did put the body on cords, but not the sleeve. Yeah. Okay. So, what I worked on this is a tangled mess. I have 2 balls of yarn attached to it right now. So, what I worked on it on this week, you never get this untangled. It's not just tangled the yarn, there was dog hair tangled in it. If you have a dog, you understand. My dog doesn't even really shed very much, but okay. So, this week, where's my marker? Here it is. This week, I started this little ducky stitch marker. So I started right here, and it's hanging down, so it doesn't make it look like I did anything. But it was hanging right here. So I worked, let's see, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 rows. 18 rows of my Stria cardigan there. And then I was getting annoyed at how long the rows take, and then it doesn't seem like it's doing anything because it's half fisherman's rib. So you're basically working 2 rows to work 1 row of visible stitches. So I picked up the stitches for the sleeve. So I've got stitches on the sleeve, and I picked up the stitches here at this heart marker, and I worked 11 rounds on that. So I did make some progress on my Stria cardigan this past week. My goal for this coming week, I'd like to do like, I have a very small ball of yarn attached to the body, so I'd like to work through that for the body. And then I think I'm going to say that I'd like to do 3 contrast color stripes on the sleeve, because I don't want this to like be the only thing I work on this week, and it does take a long time. So I'm going to say 3 contrast color stitches on the sleeve. And to finish the ball that's on the body, here I'll show you how small it is. If I can find it. I literally have the project bag right here in front of me. Here's the ball for the body. And finish that on the body, which shouldn't be too bad. So that's the Stria. Stria, maybe? I don't know. Unimportant. Got this like an hour ago and haven't taken a single drink of it. The new churro flavor at Dunkin' is really good. Next up, I said I wasn't going to work on my keeper at all, and technically I didn't. But I did rip out the hood. So I'm going to put this on for you guys so you can see how the neckline hits, and you guys can give me all your advice on what I should do with this neckline. So hold please. Okay. So here's where we're at. Like, see, it's pretty, it's like almost a scoop neck in the front, which I don't mind at all. I like a scoop neck. But do you think this would be all right with just a like ribbed collar like a normal pullover would have? I don't know. I think I may do the body or the sleeves first and then come back to it and see what I think. Because, yeah, I can't decide. So I ripped out the hood, and that's all that got done on this. Oh, this is the Keeper by Jen of JP Knits Things and One Wild. And this is being knit up in Red Door Fiber Studio Classic DK in the colorway Starfall. And this is a 100% superwash merino. It's 246 yards per 100 grams. And then for the lace weight that I'm using, this is the Hobie Alpaca Blaze in the colorway 30. And it is, let me see if I have a ball band. It is 40% acrylic, 30% alpaca, and 30% polyamide. So, I didn't tell you what my Stria was made out of because I don't know. I have lost all the ball bands for the main color, and the 2 contrast colors were D-Stash or Gifts, and I don't know where they are. I know that the blue is Explorer Knits and Fibers, but that's all I know. I know they're both fingering weight, 2-ply. That's all I got. So, that's all for the keeper. Next. The last whip for this week that I didn't even have a goal for was my cross stitch of Frogadier. And look, it actually looks like Frogadier now. I did all of this yesterday because I was so proud of myself for working on my whips all week and having 2 finished objects that I was like, you know what, I'm going to cross stitch today. This was yesterday. Today's Sunday, March 10th, by the way, if you were wondering. For me, this will come out on Monday, March 11th. But here's my Frogadier. He's super cute. He's looking great. Got a couple colors left. Most of his fruffles here are like a white and a gray. And then I have this light blue here that needs to be done, and here. And then his fingertips are also the gray and white. So I need to do the darker and lighter blue in his arm, and then some light blue here, and maybe in his foot and the other arm there, and then he'll be done. Feasibly, I could finish him today if this was all I did today, but I haven't decided what I want to work on in any spare time I have after editing this later today. So we'll see. I may work on him, I may not. But it was fun to do that and give myself a knitting break. So now I can talk to you about my two new cast-ons. So the first needs a little backstory. So I said I wanted to build my cube storage, and I did. And it's a 8 cube storage, so it's 4 and then 4 cubes. So the bottom 4 cubes I got bins to put scraps in, and then the top 4 cubes have yarn in specific places. So the bottom 4 cubes there's a DK weight scrap bin for wool, there's a worsted weight scrap bin for wool, and then there's 2 worsted weight scrap bins for acrylic. And that's 4 big bins full of scraps. And I got really overwhelmed by it. And so I said, I need to find a project for those scraps now, or I'm going to freak out. So I recently, when Tin Can Knits had their pattern sale, I bought the Polygon Blanket pattern because it was just so cute. And so I knit 1 square of the Polygon Blanket pattern. Polygon, that's a Pokemon. Polygon Blanket pattern by Tin Can Knits. So here's 1 unblocked little hexagon. So this is going to be all in worsted weight scrap yarn. And then I cast on the second one, but I haven't finished it yet. So this you work from the outside into the middle. So got 1 finished, 1 still on the needles, and I think I'll actually be able to get a 3rd one out of here. This is actually Tweedy Noir from Hedgehog Fibres. I definitely will not be able to tell you most of the scrap yarn in there, but this is really like specific and I know what it is. And this is left over from a sweater that I knit a few years ago, the Nidia sweater. I did the KAL for it. I'll show you a picture. It's really cute. I like it a lot. So there's that. This will be an extremely long-term project. Like I'm thinking maybe do 1 to maybe 2 of these a week. I'd like to at least do 1 every week. It doesn't take immensely long, maybe a little over an hour to knit 1 of these. But I think it'll be really, really cute when I eventually finish it. But here, I'll show you the bin really quick of just the worsted weight wool scraps. Yeah. So like we've got Malabrigo, Purl Scout, Cascade, some Indie. I think that's a Knit Picks. One's a Madeline Tosh. It's sadly discontinued because look how great that color is. I have a couple balls left, like about this size balls left of this. I think that's a Knit Picks, but I don't know. This big ball, this is Cascade 220, and I have a sweater quantity of this that is actually going to be made into a throw over from Andrea Mowry. I have the throwback and I wear it all the time and I love it. So I'd like to make a throw over out of this. So that's a decent amount of what's in here. That this was a cape that I unraveled. So that should help. But there's still a lot of things in here. Like this was Purl Scout yarns. I have a decent amount of that left over from that was the throw back cardigan I knit in this. She doesn't dye yarn anymore, but it's great. This is a Madeline Tosh Vintage. It was discontinued. Don't remember what I used this for. Maybe this is a full skein and I wound it and then didn't end up using it for whatever I was going to use it for. Or I used it in a colorwork something and only a very small amount. I don't remember. This may not get used for the blanket. This is really nice. The more Malabrigo. But yeah, anyway, there's a lot of yarn in here for that blanket. My next new cast on is one that I've been meaning to cast on for some time and just haven't had the time for. This is, oh, it's so tangled. Oh no. I kind of threw everything in a laundry basket downstairs to bring up here. This is my bedroom, and I usually knit downstairs on my couch. So I threw everything in a laundry basket to carry up here, and that was a mistake. This needs a project bag, clearly. This is my scrappy Seaglass Sweater. This is the Seaglass Sweater by Wool & Pine Designs. And look how great this is turning out. Isn't that amazing? I started to get a little crazy about how often that there was a really dark stitch row, but then my husband told me I was being crazy. So I'm trying to not be. But I'm so excited for how great this is looking. I knit on this a decent amount, obviously, because that's a lot of rounds. The ends may kill me though. Like, look at this. Look at this. Like, I've been weaving them in as I go just because I couldn't handle it. Like, every time there's an increase row, I'll do the increase row and then weave in the previous ends. But like, just look at all this. Look at all this. It's crazy. But I love how this is turning out. I'm really excited about it. I definitely want to work on this the most this week. So much so that I'm going to say my goal for this week. I didn't say goals about anything else. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. The goal for this week is going to be to get to sleeve separation. Maybe I'll just do goals for everything later in this episode. Actually, that's everything. That's all the projects. Okay. So, goals for next week. For my Stria cardigan, I would like to do 3 contrast color rounds. So 3 contrast color stripes, which is a lot of rounds. And I'd like to work through the tiny ball that's left on the body. That's the goal for the Stria. Goal for the keeper. The goal for the keeper is going to be to pick up one of the sleeves and knit at least 1 inch. That's totally doable, right? So 1 inch on one sleeve on the keeper. Because I just want to work on my Seaglass. I'm excited about that. I'd like to knit 1 hexagon for my Polygon Blanket. I'd like to finish Frogadier. And I'd like to get to sleeve separation on my Seaglass. Is that all my projects? All the projects I worked on this past week. Skyline's apparently just sitting in the background for now. And you know what? That's fine. I also need to send out the Marigold Tee. I literally just need to put it in a package and drop it off at the post office. Because I have the shipping label and everything. So, on to the next part of our program is acquisitions. Now, this isn't really an acquisition because I did get this quite a few weeks ago, but I never even took it out of the box. So I'm going to tell you about it now, because why not? So this, first of all, is from Knit Picks. I am an affiliate with Knit Picks, so if you like the stuff that I'm going to show you, definitely go shop through my affiliate link. It'll be in the description box below. I earn a small commission. I'm talking very small, 5% commission if you shop through my link, and it costs you nothing. So I got a bunch of their Stroll fingering base, like this. And it is a 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And it's 231 yards per 50 grams. So this is 100 grams together. And I got 2 in the colorway Rainstorm Heather, which is this teal blue color. And then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 balls or 500 gram skeins of the colorway Midnight Heather. Now I will say, when my husband and I picked this out, this looked a lot lighter online, and this looked like a really bright blue. This is not what I was expecting. It's still fine. It will work for what I am going to use it for. This is going to be a birch pullover. I just messed up my glasses. A birch pullover by Andrea Mowry that I am going to knit in the round and steek for my husband and add a zipper for him to wear on our trip to Ireland in October. He's really picky. That was like the only pattern I showed him that he didn't hate. We were originally going to do a different pattern, but then a lot of people really hated how it fit. So I got all of this, and then I got these 4 little wool wash things that were on sale because I needed $4 more for free shipping. Or no, it was less than $4 because these were like 50 cents. I needed like $1.75 or something to get free shipping. No, I do not get free shipping for being an affiliate. I only get a very small commission. So this is Eucalyptus grapefruit wool wash. So I'm actually kind of excited about them. One, they were cheap, and I love the smell of grapefruit. So that's my only acquisition this week. So I guess that's it. Not a super ton to talk about this week. So I guess you have to come back next week and see if I met any of the goals or if I just cast on 30 new projects. I don't intend to do that, but you know what? Life's too short to not cast on the thing when you feel like casting on the thing. And there are definitely some yarns over here that are calling to me. I was considering knitting a dress for my brother's wedding in June, and if I'm going to knit a dress, that takes a long time. And if I'm knitting 2 birch pullovers that are in half fisherman's rib, I should probably start them soon if they're both going to be done in October. Plus my Stria. It's a lot of half fisherman's rib to knit. Although, you know, I think I built it up in my mind that I hated it so much. I didn't hate working on my Stria at all this week. I didn't hate it at all. It just takes a long time, but I enjoyed doing it. So I guess I just had that built up in my mind as, oh my gosh, I hate this project when I shoved it away. And maybe I was mad at it when I did that, but I don't hate it, and I'm not mad at it anymore. So I will continue to work on that. And that's it for this week. Thanks for stopping by. Definitely hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button so you will know when I release new content. And I hope so much to see you back here next week for next week's podcast episode. And absolutely, go follow me on Instagram at Evan Knits Things, and I will see you next time. Bye!